That pin number. What I usually do is stick it to the box for them. And this is in case you use dual solenoid like an F2, which I will be doing a video on very soon. So, I'm gonna move the box up here. Let's go ahead and get the Titan 2 installed in the left-hand gearbox shell. Now we're gonna open the installation kit. Comes with all kinds of cool stuff. You all could probably hear my fan. I don't know if it's gonna mess up the audio. If it does, I didn't really care. I was gonna do a voiceover anyhow. So, first thing we're gonna do is take the medium sticker. That's the middle one. We're gonna place it on the selector, and it goes right there. So is it too high? Is it too low? Just right. Next, whoa, got the fan blowing stuff everywhere. You're gonna need the small screw. So Phillips. I got stuff going everywhere because of my fan, but it's so hot in this room, y'all. So we're gonna use a small screw. The very small washer. And then a very small plastic washer. And what that does is it keeps us from hurting the Titan 2 whenever we torque it. And then center it over the sector gears bearing and just torque this thing down. You don't go crazy with it now. Tighten it down and then give it a little extra. Don't go crazy. So we're going to bring this back here. We're going to give it a fold, and it's going to be laying right there like that, guys. This one's going to lay down in here. It's going to lay down in here, and then it's going to come right up the back, similar as the stock G&G one did. And if you don't feel comfortable and you need to use the clips, you can use the clips, but you're not going to need those clips, guys. Time to open the jack. So what I usually do is I'll put all of the stuff in the box for the jack, like his old parts, and then that'll give you guys an idea of what it takes to get it done. So we're not going to need this solenoid harness, so we'll take it off, and then we're going to plug this in like that. Now if this was the F2, we're going to plug it in differently, and that's a whole nother ballgame. It's a whole nother tutorial, so I'll show you guys on the F2 video. The only thing that he's requested in this is a speed trigger extra, other than what you see here. So he's gonna have the best trigger response with this MOSFET in here. So if you guys haven't tried the Titan 2 and the jack, or the Titan 2 and the F2, or the Pulsar, or the Pulsar D, or any of the gate MOSFETs with a HPA unit, you definitely are missing out. You need to get in there and try some of that. Definitely missing out, y'all. Now what I will end up doing here is taking the rear screw, and I'll just take it and stick it in here just to kind of hold everything steady. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just kind of put it in there just to kind of keep it where I can control the spring guide. See what I'm saying? Pick the red speed trigger. It's gonna be super cool. Now what we have to do to this speed trigger, if you're using a Titan 2, is we have to block this hole. So I'm gonna go get something to block this hole, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, now we are going to stick the trigger in like so. Put our upper circuit board on. Now it is important to make sure the trigger stays out of the way of that wire, so I forgot to tell you guys to tuck it there. Other than that though, it's pretty simple install. Now everything's plugged in, the jack's plugged in. Make sure my spring guide's happy where it's at. And then we, almost there. Then we close, okay? So now we're gonna be closing. No big deal, we're just gonna close. Just like that. No big deal at all. Make sure everything's centered. We're gonna flip it back over and hold it down. Let's go ahead and drop in our screw, and this is gonna secure everything. We're just gonna snug it for now. We're not gonna go crazy with it because we gotta check, make sure all the wires are clear and everything's happy. Okay, let's go ahead and get this. Now, if you get in trouble, like see how this trigger's kind of slow, we'll show you how to fix it, because sometimes speed triggers will get off-centered when they're installed, and you look at it and see there's a gap here and you see there's no gap here, so this speed trigger needs to go this way. Look at that. All it takes is just to pop it into center, guys. Simple, simple, simple. Make sure nozzle's free. Make sure jack isn't wiggling. Put on our selector plate. Gonna give it a little flex right here. I'll show you, just like this. Boom. Make sure it moves freely. This right here, guys, is ready to go back in the body. Polarstar Jack and the Gate Titan. Wow, isn't that insane, you guys? Who would have thought 2 years ago that Polarstar and a Gate Titan would be hooking up together? And who would have thought that that Gate would be making an HPA engine that's so insane? It's crazy, right? There we go. I just had to get some harder surface to put it on. Everything's looking good there. Now this is where it gets critical, and this is where we lose focus of getting the replica to shoot straight. If this is not centered in here, you can make it go crazy. Now, by beating that pin in, you can move the gearbox if the pin catches the gearbox. By over tightening your stock, you can cause it to cant. And what I usually do is I'll look at it here and I'll try to see, is it the same here and the same here? That's critical. It don't matter what engine you're using, whether it's a Polarstar, a Gate, Wolverine, it doesn't matter. It has to have good alignment. It's not gonna work. So keep that in mind. It'll work, it's just not gonna shoot good at all. Next step is putting the grip on, and then I will do some programming, and I'm going to try to video me doing the programming because I never show you guys how to do it, because I always just do it. I didn't know you guys were interested, so I'll make sure and show y'all how to do it. And we'll be done with this thing here in just a few. So we're not gonna go crazy with these because you can move the gearbox. We're gonna wait till we get everything aligned and then give it the squeeze, okay? Next, we're gonna go ahead and put our stock on, and the same thing, we're not gonna squeeze it, we're just gonna snug it up. Happy birthday to you, Jaden. My son is 15 today, y'all. Jaden is 15 today. All right, y'all, we're fixing to stud that right there for now. Take this with us too. It's go ahead and put our upper back on. That there. Let's go ahead and put the upper on. And we can go test it. See how close I am on alignment. What's that, boys and girls? It's beautiful. Let's go test it. All right, so you can tell we've moved to a different part of the shop, and the reason is because I'm about to do some programming. So we are on a Samsung device. I don't know how good this is to see. I'm gonna plug in his battery. Now, when I plug his battery in, all it's gonna do is make it available here. Just gonna hit refresh scan.
I'll be in touch with you, right?
Okay, buddy. Just let me know. I'm good anytime. X. NBD NTX. So we're gonna punch in the serial off of the tag that comes on it, and then it'll come up like this. Now we're gonna go to dash general, and we're gonna make sure that it is on HPA, as you can see. And now we're gonna go back to trigger. What I'm gonna do is calibrate the trigger. So you hold the trigger down, hit next, let off, hit next. It should go green. All right, we're green. Now the trigger should start reading. Now I found that equalizer level 1 is the fastest, so that's where we're going to start with. And that's it. You only have to pass one sensor to return to fire, so it makes it a lot snappier. Now we're going to recalibrate the selector, and this is a 3 position, so we're going to hit next, and we're going to hit safe, and we're going to hit semi, we're going to hit auto, and it'll be done. And now we check it, make sure it's reading properly. Now we're going to listen for a tick when it goes on the shooting mode. Now we're ready to tune that trigger, put some air to it, and see how it turned out. Let's go. All right, Gate Titan 2, Polarstar Jack, AirP9, finished product. I'll let you see a little trigger response first. Time to tune the trigger, send it.